Hey guys, and welcome back to Simon's Rants. We just saw Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and I mean, it was alright. It was good, not great. I think the trailer basically showed what it was gonna be like. Like, if you didn't like the trailer, you probably wouldn't like this movie.
It was interesting for me. It was the first time seeing any movie of the series so far.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't see the first one.
I did not see the first one, but the trailer made it pretty clear what this one was going to be like. I mean, I wouldn't be terribly opposed to seeing one in the future, but
First one's definitely better.
Oh, okay. They usually are. Yeah.
I mean, I know that this one's pretty forgettable. You're not really going to remember most of this tomorrow, but...
No, not.
The first one...
I remember most of it now.
My main issue with the first one was that it kind of was forgettable. Like, I first saw it and I was like, oh, that's the new Toy Story. And then the next time I saw it, I was like, this is kind of boring. It didn't really hold up like Toy Story did. And this one, I really feel is going to be in that same exact category for me. Coming into it, having not seen the first one, do you feel like the characters had any sort of chemistry or anything, or was it, I don't know, like just having, I already saw the first one, so like I already have that chemistry build up between the characters. Did you feel like there was chemistry already there, or?
I mean, I could feel the chemistry between the main two characters. I could feel like their father-daughter-ish dynamic that they had. I wasn't missing anything by not seeing the first movie, or at least I didn't feel I was.
Yeah, I can agree. I felt like I did, like, it felt like it jumped right back in. They did have one scene where they kind of were like, I mean, obviously, and they referenced the plot of the first one. But other than that, they didn't really waste too much time on that. My biggest thing with this, and I did mention it in my trailer reaction, is I felt like this plot didn't have to be these characters. They just used them because they already had them. It didn't really have anything to do with Wreck-It Ralph or Vanellope or any of them. It was just like, hey, you know these characters? Let's just reuse them. And ultimately, the plot is like a better version of the Emoji Movie. Like, that's all it is. Product placement and all. Like, there's so much product placement. Like, the trailer does show the bulk of it, but there's still more than there was in the trailer in this movie.
You know, for all the product placement, I noticed there was only a couple of companies that actually had to have their names changed for this movie.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Like... They had BuzzTube instead of YouTube, and I don't know if that was supposed to be just YouTube or a combination between YouTube and BuzzFeed. I don't know what that was.
I mean, they had Google. Google owns YouTube, so
I don't get why they would do that. Maybe it's because they put it in kind of a negative light with like the comments and stuff. I don't know, but it's like they got the real names for the majority of the websites, and then randomly there's BuzzTube, and you're like, I know what you're pretending that is, but it's not. Why? I actually really did enjoy a lot of the character chemistry in this movie. Some of it really started to come across as heavy-handed near the climax of the movie, but it kind of pulled itself around and ended up being really well thought out, I thought, when it's talking about friendship and stuff. Like, it's very heavy-handed stuff. The movie's about insecurity, but it ultimately pulled itself together, I thought, pretty well.
Yeah, definitely not a subtle movie, but you're right, I agree the character chemistry is probably the strongest point of it.
There's this conversation between Vanellope and another character, and they're talking about Wreck-It Ralph and how he kind of disapproves of what she wants to do. And she says, hey, best friends are allowed to have different dreams than each other. And it's like throughout the whole movie, he's kind of trying to lead her and make her decisions for her. And it was a good thought. Like, it was a thought out plot. Like, I don't know if these directors were making this for their kids or something who are in middle school, but it really felt like there was a big lesson that they were trying to push behind this movie. I definitely think the comedy in this movie was funny. I thought that it was well-written comedy. The story, though, it really didn't feel like a story. Like, it was just, I don't know, they wanted to bring back the characters, they didn't know how. They're like, hey, did you see the Emoji Movie? Why don't we make that but better? And they're like, yeah, but I wanted to make a Wreck-It Ralph sequel. Why not both? The climax was really good, and so I kind of forgot how much I didn't love the rest of the movie during the climax. And I was like, maybe this is like an 8-star movie. And then the climax ended and went, yeah, no, this is like a 6-star movie. And I remembered real quick how bad the rest of the movie was. Not that it's terrible, it's still like a 6-star movie, but it really I don't know. There was some just inconsistencies in the thought behind this story. It really didn't feel like a put together movie. It didn't feel like Disney quality. I'll put it that way. It felt like, I don't know, like something Blue Sky would make or something. Essentially, everything that you saw in the trailer is what you get in this movie. I mean, obviously there's more of a plot there, but it really it didn't feel like a plot. It felt like, hey, let's bring these characters back in a wacky situation. I know that might sound like a plot, but it's not really. There's a difference between, like, this is a sequel and, hey, remember these guys? They're back at it.
Hey, man, it sells. And that's all the plot you really need.
And that's what Disney wants.
Yeah, man. Kids don't care about plot yet.
Yeah, it's like Anchorman 2. There was no real, like, that didn't...
But it sold.
It did. Better than Dumb and Dumber 2. Dumb and Dumber 2 is even worse. Wow, that was an unnecessary sequel. The whole movie just reeked of unnecessary. So I guess, honestly, that's really all we have to say about the non-spoilers. It's just the trailer. It's the trailer in an hour and a half. Meh. I don't know. I didn't care about this that much. Other than the climax, which we'll talk about in the spoilers. Other than that, 2 scenes, I just really didn't care about anything happening in this. So, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. And, of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to talk about spoilers now. So, yeah. That whole insecurity virus thing, like, it was pretty heavy-handed.
Yeah, I mean...
And I mean literally heavy-handed. His hands were huge. Huge hands.
We have the best hands.
Not small at all. They're perfectly the right size.
My hands get a lot of respect.
A lot of respect. A lot of people know about my hands.
They love them. They love them.
Love them. They're great hands. Best hands you could ever need or want. So it was a bit heavy-handed, but I thought actually it was surprisingly good. And maybe it was just because, like, I think that's a topic we can all, like, relate to, the insecurity or whatever. Wanting people to like us, being afraid or whatever that, you know, our friends are gonna, like, move on or whatever and we won't, you know, have that same connection anymore. I enjoyed that. Like, maybe it's just because I'm an insecure bitch. But I enjoyed that.
It does hit home. We're at this age now. We've separated from a lot of the people we've known over the years.
I don't even know you anymore.
I know, man.
Did I ever know you? Get out of my car. We'll both get out of the car.
Yeah, you get out the car, I'll take the car.
No, I'm still paying this. I liked how it was resolved, though. Like, I like how they both Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph were both willing to give up. Like, it wasn't just, oh, Ralph's an insecure little twerp. He needs to get over it. She was willing to help him and be part of the process, too. I liked that. I liked how it was a process that they both worked together. It wasn't like one person's wrong, one person's right. It's like everybody can be a part of this process. I also liked how she actually did end up staying there, and they kind of had to work out how to live apart from each other.
Yeah, that was nice. I feel like a lot of other movies would have just kept them together the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole friends need to stick together sort of thing. But no, it's okay that they grew apart and had their own lives, but were able to maintain the friendship.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of other kids' movies would have.
Because they even hinted like they were gonna do a cop-out when she said, stay here for a while. Like, it kind of hinted like, hey, maybe she'll just be there for a month and then we'll skip ahead a month and then she'll be coming back like, hey, I missed you, and then everything will be fine. They didn't do that, and I appreciated that. I really did think that was a mature way to handle it because, I mean, you don't know where life's going to take you, but that doesn't mean you're not still best friends. That race scene was actually pretty cool, though. Like, I've never really seen a animated movie with an action scene. Okay, rarely have I seen an animated action scene and gone, that's entertaining. It felt as entertaining as, I mean, any other race scene I've seen. Then again, I bet it had just as much CGI as any Fast and Furious race scene has, probably the same amount.
Listen, we can't compare this movie to perfection, just like Fast and Furious, okay? Those movies, Those movies. I'm gonna review the next one of those with you.
I've never reviewed any of those.
Oh my gosh, man!
I really don't want to.
Sheer perfection. If you can just.
Every movie is the last movie. Have you noticed?
I know.
All marketed as the last
But
one.
there's one for every Transformers, or is there one for Transformers for every Fast and Furious? I'm not sure which. They're doing a ton of them.
Well, there's a lot more Fast and Furious than there are Transformers.
Then there's one Transformers for every Fast and Furious. They're doing a ton of
Logic.
them. Exactly.
I really don't get your logic, but all right. I want to know more about that fighter character. I don't remember his name. The opening scene they're talking about, like, I wonder if he waxes. I want to know
Oh my
the
gosh.
answer.
I mean, he only has a small patch of hair on his chest and then on his knees. How does he not wax?
I wouldn't call it a small patch of hair. It's it's very thick.
It feels like it should be spread out a lot more over him, though. And then just his knees? Come on.
Oh, it's his shins, wasn't his knees.
The shins, whatever. There's no way he doesn't shave.
He's so baby smooth everywhere else.
Let's talk Disney princesses.
Yeah.
I thought some of them were fantastic at the end, and the others, I still don't get why they were there. I guess just because they had to have them all.
Yeah. It really was so pointless. Like, they had to put in, like, hey, see, these women are strong and they're independent and they can save the big, strong guy who needs help.
I love that line. Hey, look, big strong guy who needs help. Arr.
It was just like, okay. I would have been completely fine with them saving the day. I don't have an issue with princesses having value. But when their whole character is, I'm a strong woman, there is no character there. They're not characters anymore. They're just annoying.
I just wish they would have left the useless ones as just background characters.
Exactly. What's her face from Pixar, Brave, going and shooting the arrows.
Yeah, that was very useful.
And you had Rapunzel using her hair or something.
I think she made the rope from her hair or something.
And then you had Snow White throw a poison apple that ate through the ropes.
I feel like the brave girl could have just shot a few more arrows. And
Yeah,
perfectly
like,
okay.
Or you could have just left the dress there and had him catching it without the stupid parachutes happening and stuff. Like, it was so, like, you're trying way too hard. And also, like, they had Ariel spray water into the air and then they had Elsa freeze it. Elsa doesn't need water to make ice. She can just make ice. She didn't need Ariel, and I love Ariel to death. She's my favorite Disney princess, but she was pointless there.
So it makes far more logical sense, though. Where there's water, you can make ice now. And they made it into a slide. Matt, somehow. Even though it
That
wasn't a
came
slide
into
coming
play.
out.
I don't even know what it did. It slowed him down a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I thought he would just slide the whole way down, but they had
Why
to involve
didn't they
everybody
do that?
else. They
Yeah,
had to
why
involve everybody
didn't-
else.
Literally, all Elsa had to do was make a spiral, and he could have just been like,
Yep.
and then put a pile of snow at the bottom. Done. That's all they needed to do. Also, was Anna there? They had Elsa. Was Anna there? Did she do anything? Because she doesn't have any abilities. She doesn't have any character traits except she sings.
I didn't see that movie either.
Oh, well,
I have not seen half of these.
you're not missing out at all.
I didn't see the Brave one. I didn't see the new Rapunzel one. I didn't see.
Tangled is okay.
I didn't see
Frozen.
Frozen. I didn't see Frozen.
Moana.
I didn't see Moana. I didn't see the black one. I didn't see.
You're allowed to say that.
Yes,
I'm not
I
allowed to say
am.
that. It was The Princess and the Frog. That was like the one that they actually used the right title for. So they were kind of pointless other than to say, hey, women can do stuff too. And if you have to say it, it's weak. Just do it. And don't announce it, you know?
I feel like that was just a big part of this movie, though.
Yeah, this...
It was in the trailer. It was an expanded scene, and it felt very at home in this movie. For them to
Yeah.
just announce, hey, there's a big, strong guy who needs us to save him.
Yeah, they had to double down on it. Because you saw in the trailer, and the line was in the movie too, like, does everybody think all your problems were solved when a man came and saved you? So you see that line, and you're like, okay, come on. And then they double down on it at the end of the movie, and you're like, really? Just, no, stop. It was so obvious that they were just trying to show off that, hey, one, we've got all these Disney princesses together, and two, we reimagined them to make them more ethnically correct. And it's like, that was the whole point of these characters being there, was feminism, and I don't know what you'd call it, just
Diversity.
diversity. Yeah, diversity. 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 Diversi diversity culture or whatever. And it's like we get it. You don't have to like shove it in our face. Like we know.
But they will.
Yeah, it's like we know though. We know. Then they had the one girl